Hello, everyone. This is UPress Play Entertainment every Mondays at noon. I am one of the hosts, Elliot Rodriguez. I'm the entertainment editor.
I'm Colby Guy. I am the editor-in-chief of the University Press.
I'm Zachary Weinberger. I'm currently a staff writer at the University Press.
He was the ex-editor-in-chief.
Ex-editor-in-chief,
yeah, nice to meet you guys. So today, I think we're just I'll start off by showing some records. You know, we have some, start off with some music and everything, what we've been listening to. And so I pulled, this week's actually a really special week, at least for me, because we have something called Dilla Day on February 7th or 15th, it depends. February 7th is this man's birthday right here, Dilla, J Dilla. And every year the hip hop community kind of throws a little something in honor of him because he passed away a while back. So we got one of the most influential hip hop albums, which is Donuts. This baby, it's gonna stay sealed. We got another album produced solely by him from one of his friends, Fat Cat and Frank and Dank. Then we have the first studio album. Fantastic. So I got a lot of stuff from this guy. This guy's amazing. But I want to hear what you guys have been listening to and everything, because I know not everyone collects vinyls.
Well, so before I share it, I want to ask a couple questions about the artist you just kind of mentioned. So, first of all, when did he die, and when was he popular?
So he was like a big, or he was big in he kind of got more noticed after death. I forgot exactly when he died. He died February 10th, but his birthday's on February 7th. Not a lot of people know this, but there's also another influential person. His name is Nujabes. They had the same birthday, and they're the same. They kind of influence what a lot of people know as lo-fi hip hop. He also made a couple. I don't know if you're familiar with Samurai Champloo, or anybody out there is familiar with Samurai Champloo, but Nujabes made the soundtrack to that, and it's regarded like one of the best animes / soundtracks ever. But no, he was big on he worked with everyone, but you didn't know, it was like low key with it, so he didn't really get recognized too much. He was underground, we're known as underground for a while, and he died back in 2006, February 10th, and his birthday's February 7th, and Dilla Day / Nujabes Day is, I would say February 7th, because that's when their birthdays are. But yeah, no, he's worked with, I don't know if you heard, he's worked with Erykah Badu, Common, He's worked with Busta Rhymes. He's worked with a plethora of people. So it's insane, the stuff he's done.
I mean, I'll have to check him out. I mean, listen, during the pandemic, obviously, since we're still in it, I've always wanted to broaden my horizon when it comes to music. I feel like I listen to the same artist every day, and it doesn't even get old. But obviously, recently, and I hate to be one of the crowd that's I listened to them after they died, but recently, obviously, with MF Doom, because I never really listened and never really got into his music. I got into it after people kept telling me to do it, and I can see why. It's absolutely amazing. And when it comes to the final collection, also, I mean, it's small because I just started it, but I pretty much don't have more newer stuff,
No, that's fine. Neither do I. I mean, these are just this is the tip of the iceberg of my collection. But oh shit. But But what do you call it? No, man, definitely Doom. Doom Doom did some stuff to Dilla's beats. I remember he did stuff to definitely, if you check out Dilla, check out Donuts, because this album is it influenced the generation, like Kanye, for everyone that you think of mainstream now, pretty much was really influenced by Dilla. Flying Lotus. I know Tyler the Creator and Odd Future, and all of them were inspired by Doom. So yeah, man, check it out. Definitely check out Donuts, and I'll send you some stuff. I love putting people on.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I know you got a ton of J Dilla songs on our little UP newsroom playlist.
Yeah.
And I've been pumping that. That's a good playlist, bro.
That's one of my heroes. Legit one of my heroes. I got a picture of him right there every time. So he changed my life. It's a huge expression. It's Jay Dilla changed my life, and he really did. He changed a lot of people's life. I mean, the Donuts album, he made this on his literal deathbed, his actual deathbed. He had lupus, and he had lupus for a while, and in the hospital, people another hero of mine, Madlib, and a friend of theirs, mutual friend, J Rock, who was a DJ for a lot of the shows, they would just go and dig for him and bring him just like albums. And Dilla, was like he couldn't walk, he couldn't do anything, but he would tell the lady to just like the nurse, like get him up. He'll go to his MPC, which is how he made the beats. He'll take the vinyl, he'll sample it in, and he'll just chop it up. He made it on his literal deathbed, so that's why it's also like a really like important piece of my life, because like it's I don't know many people that will give their lives to music like that, and make such a you know like lay the blueprints of hip hop. So that was
That's really impressive too, how he worked through all that and he put so much passion into a piece like that, and it still comes out and is one of his better albums just from dealing with all that. Like that's just a true like feat of strength to do something like that. So
I know, yeah.
that's really respectable, and I gotta like dedicate time to listening to the album from start to finish for sure.
Oh yeah, no, this is just it's not it's just it's renowned as obviously one of the best hip hop albums, just because it was such a different style than a lot of people. A lot of people were making a lot of boom bap or a lot of gangster stuff, and Dilla was just he was what a lot of people were sampling, like a lot of soul records, a lot of jazz records, just like the normal stuff. But then Dilla and Madlib were so out there with their music. They were sampling like prog rock, Afro fusion, jazz fusion, like after like Ethiopian things. So it was just like, and he just got like a different sound, and it was just his ear, man. No one could beat his ear. So yeah, I'm excited for y'all to tell me to tell me what you thought of them. Thought of Donuts and everything. It's gonna be a little out there. It's gonna definitely be different from what you heard, but it's maybe after a couple listens you'll actually be like, damn, this guy. I can see why he's renowned as literally like one of the best hip hop producers. But hell yeah, man. Heck yeah.
When it comes to that though, I always find it interesting how like kind of you said like he kind of laid the groundwork, he was the foundation and stuff like that. But like literally like, and maybe it's because I'm just living under a rock. I don't know. I barely heard this guy's name, and I feel like that again. We always hear like nowadays we always hear about the Travis Scotts and the Kanye West and on and on and on, and we never hear about the people that maybe created these guys and kind of laid the boundaries for them. So I'm definitely down. And when it comes to that, by the way, I mean, listen, I'm all for music recommendations. I need some. And I think we'll probably plug our like social media accounts a little later, but for anybody that's listening, send us some because we want to check it out.
Yeah, man. Anything. It doesn't matter what it is, if you can broaden your or expand your musical horizon, then that just, you can just keep digging down the rabbit hole and you find like, an outlet that you may have never discovered or even thought was, like existed. And maybe you love it, maybe you don't, but it's all just to show the love, man, because music's meant to be shared with one another. So that's the thing right there. Not to get super philosophical, but damn.
I mean, I think that's the beauty of art as a whole, right? Obviously, I mean, this is all entertainment. We'll talk about music, we'll talk about movies, television shows, whatever, and it's all share the same thing. It's all subjective, and just the fact that people can talk about it and share the love for it is pretty cool. So.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely. Like honestly, like some entertainment stuff, like arts, like music and film, can kind of change your life and kind of make you have a better sense of feeling of what's going on in life. Like I've had similar experiences with it where an artist like I definitely attribute to kind of helping me grow is Mac Miller, and
that guy was awesome.
his album Swimming and some of his other work kind of has that type of message that helps you grow and learn some things. Same thing with Lonerism by Tame Impala. I've written articles about both of these albums on the UP's website, but music just has a way of kind of taking you and it does and teaching you something or coming into your soul, yet doing it in a way that is just beautiful. So that's just the beauty of music, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I wish I could have gotten into Mac Miller. I honestly haven't really listened to a lot of his stuff, but I know the stuff I have listened to. Like I saw his Rhythm Roulette on Mass Appeal. Was it Mass Appeal? Yeah. So and all those rhythm. If you haven't seen it, check it out because it's freaking awesome. All those like rhythm roulettes, it's crazy. They go like artists blindfold themselves, go to like the record shop, and they pick 3 records, and they just make a beat from that. Either combining all the records and trying to make one like cohesive thing, or taking different things from parts of the records and making different joints. But No, Mac was sick. I wanted to get into him for sure, but I gotta listen to more of his stuff.
The same
Yeah,
here.
I'm a big Mac Miller fan, and I somehow have not watched that, so I have to watch that now. Thank you, Elliot.
Yeah. It's Rhythm Roulette. You know,
I'll
pop
remember that.
Rhythm Roulette Mac Miller. They'll
Mhm.
definitely pop up. 100% for sure. But Zach, I'm put y'all on some good stuff. I got a lot of music. I got a lot of music that I'll put you guys on. A lot of MF Doom stuff, a lot of Dilla, a lot of Madlib stuff.
And another artist that I was like low key sleeping on for the longest time that I've now just came along to liking is Tyler the Creator. I roasted him for the longest time for
A lot of
whatever
people don't like him. I don't know why. I love Tyler.
But like now I love him. Like I was listening to Flower Boy, I think the album is, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, Flower Boy, yeah.
Yeah, like that's one of my favorite albums now. Just like the creativity behind that album. I love that album now.
A lot of people, like I said, I think it's just like how he's really out there. Like he's an inspiration to me in the sense that like he's super just creative, with his, what do you call it? I'm coming from like a musical standpoint, but like, you know, I love his chord progressions. I love the way he arranges his his tracks. And they kind of sound like orchestral, like especially Igor, his use of synths like is amazing. Like, just like everything kind of just is like really cohesive and is just like orchestral. Like it's like he's a composer, just telling everybody what to do. And it's just, a lot of people really don't like him though. I don't know why.
Especially with Rex Orange County, because I'm also a big Rex Orange County fan.
Oh,
like
yeah,
any song with those two artists on it is gonna slap.
Oh yeah, he did Cali Uchis, Rex Orange County, Playboy Party, everyone. Like, I mean, it's Tyler the Creator. He's freaking awesome.
Like he's so good at just mixing his music, and, like putting a song together that like he could make a song with like anyone. But yeah, Tyler the Creator really does mix well with everyone, and his editing and just overall just vibe just fits with anything. So
all right, so I have a hot take on Tyler the Creator. Maybe it's not a hot take. I don't know. Let me know. I really do not dig his older stuff at all. I think it's almost unbearable to listen to. That's just my opinion. However, his recent stuff, Flower Boy, Igor, I think is excellent. Basically kind of the genre that I really do like when it comes to hip hop and alternative and stuff like that. So to me, I mean, maybe it's a hot take this one as well, but I think Igor's his best work. And Flower Boy's pretty close, but the first couple albums I just do not dig.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lot like I know that's like a big thing when that comes up. I think it's just, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I wasn't crazy on like, what was it? I'm going back to my playlist just because like I have it and things to learn and inspiration. Like, I dig some stuff from Cherry Bomb. I dig some stuff from what do you call it? From Whoville. That it was like I know that album you made. I don't know if you know about. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I just feel like it was just his like kind of, he kind of sprouted to actually find himself, because he was like, like rapping like heavy with like Odd Future during all that stuff, but then he just kind of branched out and did his own thing. Because I remember in like I think a Grammy interview, he's like why is like my stuff not under pop, but why does it have to be categorized as urban? Like, so I know he was trying to, I think, get out of like that kind of thing back into like the pop realm, because like whenever like I don't know, a black artist does something like this, it automatically gets categorized into urban or something like that, and why can't it just be pop? And I don't know, so it was just, I've freaking just, yeah, I got into him kind of late too. I got into a lot of people late, but
Me too. It's same thing happened with me and Tyler.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because I like I always do, just because I'm a little like picky like that. I need to start from the beginning. I don't care if it's like the latest album was the best. I need to start from the beginning, and I mean, I don't mind the hard rap. I like a lot of artists that do this sort of stuff. I don't know, maybe it was his voice with it that I really didn't like, or the lyrics that he was saying, but Igor and Flower Boy definitely stick with me more, I feel. So an artist that I've obviously been listening to, not just now, but just forever now, and Colby sort of mentioned him before, was obviously Tame Impala, and I got into them kind of my later years of high school and from a friend. And I just think right now, to me, they're my favorite modern act at the moment. Obviously, their last album, Slow Rush, was my favorite album of last year. And to me, Currents is a masterpiece. I think it's definitely one of my favorite albums of all time. And I just don't know what it is. That psychedelic rock mixed in with the kind of pop with Currents, and you can see the progression they've had. Obviously, with Inner Speaker, their first one, and then obviously Colby reviewed Lonerism, which I guess a hot take saying like out of the 4 albums, that's probably my least favorite, but it's still a really good album, really strong stuff there.
Kevin Parker's amazing.
Again, their stuff it's always on repeat, man.
That guy. I honestly, to be honest, I haven't really heard of anything from Tame Impala. I know of Tame Impala, and I know of Kevin Parker because he writes for a lot of freaking people.
Oh yeah,
like he's like really like crazy good artist, Kevin Parker. But like I just haven't sat down and like listened to any of their stuff. I need to, but what they remind me of is like the it's like that 70s kind of vibe mixed with like, the new alternative stuff. I don't want to say alternative pop stuff, but they're very like psychedelic, like in a way, like creating a new sound, like how Jimi Hendrix did, or the freaking like the beat, like back in that kind of era and everything. That's the vibe I always get from them.
And here's the thing, I mean,
you'd like Arctic Monkeys then also. They're huge also.
Oh, I like Arctic Monkeys, absolutely.
Arctic Monkeys is amazing.
I hear the one thing that I guess one of the reasons why I love Tame Impala so much is because, I mean, I guess it's a normie thing to say, but I mean, the Beatles are my favorite band. I know it's a
normie thing to say.
No, it is, because obviously they're always considered the greatest, but they are. I mean, I just hate to say
No, they're awesome. I mean, it's not a normie thing to say. It's just they're really good.
It is and it isn't, but whatever. But like Kevin Parker, when I first heard Inner Speaker, the first album, the first couple songs in there, I mean, the guy just sounds almost like identical to John Lennon back in the 60s and 70s. Like, it's absolutely amazing. And I think that's maybe what, kind of stuck with me so much about those albums. But
you have a lot of Beatles albums in your little collection. Do you have any Beatles?
We talked a little bit about the vinyl stuff. I have Abbey Road. I have the White Album. Pretty much everything. I mean, the Beatles, I mean, they were pretty much my gateway into music, because like when I was a kid, obviously I would just listen to some random stuff, but really that's kind of like the gateway that I had.
That's cool.
And Sgt. Pepper's was one of the first things I ever listened to. The album is obviously masterful. And Abbey Road, yeah. And Kevin Parker, again, like he gives me that same sort of vibe. And like you said about what is it? Is it Jay Dilla? Is that his name?
Jay Dilla, yeah.
Yeah. So Kevin Parker is a vast influence right now in the hip hop game. I mean, you see people like A$AP Rocky and Kanye and Travis for the sample.
I think Kid Cudi, he also did stuff for Kid Cudi on his last one, I think.
Exactly. So a huge footprint that Kevin Parker has. And again, Currents, the last thing that just boggles my mind about Currents is that obviously it's a group. It's Kevin Parker and the rest, I guess.
To go back what you said, that guy is awesome because he doesn't just stick to one thing. He branches out because his sound is very universal in that way, to where he can work with hip hop. He can do alternative. He can do pop stuff. So it's just that's a really cool person to see nowadays, because a lot of people say like, mainstream music is like bad. And I'm honestly not a big fan of all the stuff that, the stuff on the radio. But there are like, if you know where to look, like for example, Kevin Parker, there's people out there. Same thing with Kevin Parker, Kate Shinoda, who else? Tyler. And Tyler's a really big name, and I think the quality is really good. But yeah, that's usually like a lot of old heads that are like, oh, this stuff sucks now. I mean, you just gotta know where to look. Pretty much it.
That's a really good point, I feel, because obviously when you look under like Beatles music videos or whatever, they say, oh, I wish music was back to this. I'm like, really, you just need to look, man. Like, you can't look at the top 50 that most popular songs, and be like,
old people.
It really is. No, but honestly, for being honest, it's also people our age too that have that sort of mentality where it's like, I'm a big fan of the Beatles and Pink Floyd, but like, there's nothing good out there right now. Listen to Tame, man. Listen to Arctic Monkeys. Listen to there's so much stuff out there.
Yeah, people just look at the top 50 and see some song about a driver's license and be like, no, this stuff sucks.
No, I mean, like,
but
listen,
to be fair to Driver's License, that song's a pretty good song, and it's very depressing.
I tried listening to that song because one of our friends that we know, was talking about that song and like the history behind that song, it's like, I don't know. It's not for me. But I mean, I guess I see the appeal of it. But like, if you look at the top 50 and be like, oh, I see Despacito, and that's like the defining the music nowadays, it's really not. I mean,
that's what I mean. Like this, it's like just a lot of stuff like that out on the radio when there was like when I just don't like stuff at all. Just got nowhere to look. It's usually like a lot of the new people that do it that are our age are just like trying to be, like different, like trying to be like I'm cool because I don't listen to the main stuff. I don't listen to the man. The man is no, I'm joking. But then it's like for us, always the old people that are like just like, oh, you freaking kids, you listen with your freaking Mosquito. Yeah, it's always that guy with the cane that threatens to beat you with the cane if you're like just step foot on his freaking messed up grass in the front of his yard.
But
people always just hate on things because they're popular and they want to feel cool and different. Like people will hate on like Kanye or Drake just because they're popular.
Okay. New Kanye, don't like. Old Kanye, I like. I don't know what happened to Kanye.
He's a lot better than new Kanye.
I don't know what happened to Kanye, but he went off the rails. He's going crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, obviously the last album he had, what was it, Jesus is King? That was the last work he did.
Yeah, that was the last thing he did.
Here's the thing. I would consider myself a really huge Kanye fan. I think his work, I mean, like you said, the old work he does is amazing. A couple albums. I mean, Colby, you wrote a review on, I mean, you consider arguably, I mean, people say it's his best album.
That's probably like one of the greatest albums of all time, right there. In my opinion.
No, it's listed. It's listed. It's up there like Mad Villainy and everything, and like
which I mean I completely agree with. So like what I was saying though is like obviously with new Kanye, I mean, you also have to separate the artist from the work, right? I mean, like some people have trouble with doing that because obviously you look at what Kanye has done like outside of his music career, and people question that, and if you can't separate it, that's honestly I can definitely understand that because if it's an extreme example, then I completely understand. But new Kanye, like Jesus is King, I feel like even the one before that, it was like 7 tracks. It was Yeezus. No, it wasn't Yeezus. What was it called?
Yay. I personally liked some of the songs on that album.
Album.
Ghost Town really spoke to me, but it wasn't anything crazy. But like Ghost Town really spoke to me, and that was like one of the best songs he's ever made. But I think that album does mean a little bit because Kanye does go over some things he's dealing with living with bipolar. That album is produced pretty well, so I don't have an issue with Ye. Jesus is King isn't as good as the rest of his work, but I don't have an issue with Ye.
I don't have an issue with Ye either. If I'm being honest, when that came out, I was bummed to that. Like for like the next couple of days, it was pretty good. I wouldn't say it's his best work. Obviously, it's not. It's hard to compete there, but it's not bad.
I don't have an issue with Kanye. He went off the rails like a lot. Like,
I mean, yes. I mean, I hope that he recovers, but like, so with his last one, obviously, like, it was funny to listen to. That's for sure. When you're comparing someone to Chick-fil-A, I mean, it's a funny song. Absolutely.
Did you see when Kanye told Chance to sit down? He yelled at him. None of y'all saw this?
No, I'm the biggest Kanye fan ever, and I somehow didn't see that.
And I'm gonna send you an old Kanye beat tape, like a '97, because that was his thing. That was Kanye's work ethic. I think it was for 3 years, for 3 summers. He made 5 songs a day, for 3 summers, and this was one of them. His '97 beat tape, and this is what I mean about old Kanye. I mean, I know I'm going back, and I know I'm going back, but this is like insane stuff. 5 beats a day. For 3 summers, it's for a summer tape. Like that's crazy. That's a whole bunch of music. So
I'm pretty sure that's a lyric he had in the song too. I remember
that was his thing. That's what everybody's
like 5 beats a day for 3 summers.
So here's another hot take.
I think that's from Spaceships.
Yeah, bro. That was his work ethic when he was.
Yeah, like, he said that in it. That was a lyric in Spaceships. I know that's one of my favorite songs.
I'm gonna share.
Guys, I need your take on this. I to me, I could not get into Chance the Rapper. Okay.
Oh, neither have I. I haven't gotten really into I haven't listened to any of his stuff, but then I heard that Hot Shower thing was complete freaking garbaggio's.
Quick, let me talk about that real quick because
trash bags.
I tried listening to his first couple like Coloring Book and Acid Rap, like his popular stuff. I just couldn't get it or whatever. It's not my cup of tea, whatever.
Yeah.
I listened to his new album. It's garbage, in my opinion. It's garbage. That song, Hot Shower, is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. I love that. Like I ironically love that song.
All I know about Chance is that are the memes of just how he like he mentioned he always says he loves his wife. Like he has to say that he loves.
That whole
I
album.
love my wife. That's it. Hot shower. Bam.
That whole album is that. That whole album is that.
I mean, I personally do like a few songs off of Acid Rap and Coloring Book, but overall, I'm not the biggest Chance fan.
Yeah, I haven't honestly, but I'm also like a little naive.
Like Cocoa Butter Kisses is a very catchy song. Catch me listening to that.
Damn, Colby, you have a
Few
mic,
others that
Mike.
I like,
I didn't
but
even
other
realize
than
that.
I'm not the biggest Chance guy.
Colby, you have an actual mic. I didn't even realize you had an actual mic.
Yeah, I came prepared today.
Holy, did you buy that just for this? Is
No, I've had this for a while.
that a Blue Yeti?
Yeah.
Bam.
Mm.
Hell yeah. Well, let's transfer off the topic of music because I know Zach's a big theater and film buff, so I kind of want to go into that because I know nothing about that stuff. I don't know. I don't watch movies really at all.
So I mean, so when theater, not so much. I mean, if you want to have Marcy on to talk about musicals, then oh my god, she'll talk about that for an hour straight. Movies, I'm definitely into as well. Really anything pop culture, movies, television shows. I wanted to bring up WandaVision because Colby. I remember Colby tweeting out. If you don't follow Colby on Twitter, it's that guy Colbs, obviously. And I think the first couple episodes of WandaVision, he said it was the worst thing he's ever watched.
Oh yeah, when you dropped out, that's what he was saying. I was asking him for the movie review on Mondays, and he was like, "All my friends want to watch WandaVision. I hate it." I'm just like, okay.
So
I thought it was a movie. I thought WandaVision was a movie. I didn't know it was a show.
It's a TV show, yeah, on Disney Plus, and I need to hear Colby's take on it because I really want to understand why. Because listen, I have so many criticisms about Marvel movies, about the MCU specifically, but I watched this and I'm just like, this is very unique. I need to, Colby, tell me why you hate WandaVision.
All right, the first 2 episodes of this show were the most unfunny, unentertaining, most full of nothing episodes I have ever watched. And that was when I tweeted it out. Like, it was just people saying just random crap that contributed nothing at all. And then a laugh track. It was like I was watching The Big Bang Theory, but even more confusing. Like the episodes after that, it got a little bit better, and it kind of drew together a little bit after that. But those first 2 episodes, dude, they just give that whole show a bad rap for me. And I couldn't bear to just sit there and watch this garbage of these 2 people, this like group of people just talking about like stupid things that make no sense. Like, oh, I'm gonna go to work today. And then another laugh track after that. Just I can't deal with that type of thing, man. It's just disgusting.
Well, damn, Colby, tell us how you really feel.
So, Mike, here's my question to you about your criticisms to that. Then, do you think that the whole show is a sitcom, or do you think the whole show is a sitcom? Is my question.
During those first 2 episodes where I was just utterly disgusted, I was thinking that. But I mean, once it got to like, I think it was episode 4 where it kind of jumped into the whole Marvel thing where the I forgot her name, but she went from the crazy, stupid laugh track world into the actual Marvel world again, and she came back in the hospital or whatever. From that point on, it was actually not that bad. But like those first 3 episodes, dude, it was terrible. I mean, episode 3 wasn't that bad either.
I
But
can't.
like
I don't
1 and 2 were horrible.
because I've never watched WandaVision.
Well, so I guess that's my point. Was that my thing to you is that those first 2 episodes where it's just purely a sitcom thing. There's a reason why it was like that. I don't think that the point of the show was to make a sitcom, sort of say. Like it's part of like the larger story. And I haven't watched the newest episode that came out today, which I heard like a lot of good things about, and they're saying it's kind of like, whatever. I haven't seen it. But like obviously the point of it is that it's supposed to be really bad and it's supposed to be like a 50s and 60s
Oh,
sitcom.
it's supposed to be satirical then. Satirical.
Yeah, I mean, listen. So like that's the
Satire.
basis is that Vision and Scarlet Witch are in the sitcom world, and they have to live through that 50s and 60s, kind of like the tropes, and stuff like that. So
yeah, they did a little bit too good of a job of making it one of those bad sitcoms to the point where I just couldn't bear sitting through it. So I was
yeah,
like, okay, let's just get to the cool superhero shit.
well, that's what I put in my my review for the newsletter was just like I think this would have served better to be a Netflix style thing where all the episodes were released, just because like I mean you're not the only one that said that. Like I feel like people think it's just a sitcom and that's not the case. Like there's a reason why they're acting like that. So if people just binge through it, they would be like, okay, there's a reason. Having people wait another like a whole week to see that that's not the case is maybe bad marketing.
Yeah, like the way they did, like it was fine when they did this with the Mandalorian. It's like each episode had its own meaning and it ended on a cliffhanger. You wait for the next week. But this type of deal, I mean, I guess it's getting to that point now. But those first 2 episodes just weren't the type of episodes you'd want to start that off with. Like, if you want to do this, I would have put episodes 1, 2, and 3 out just because 3 kind of just gets to the story. 1 and 2 are kind of just out there.
I messed with Mandalorian though. That was cool, and I don't really like Star Wars like that. No, yeah, I have no say in WandaVision because I don't watch. But I'm watching South Park right now. Like,
I mean,
I was watching the South Park pandemic special the other day, and bro, that they hit the mark with that one. I mean, I know they got people pissed off with that episode, and I had to buy that episode because it was taken off Hulu, bro.
Oh man, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, whatever. Bro, South Park been pissing people off for a hot minute. So I don't think they're used to it.
I love South Park so much. I mean,
man, it's I never got into it, but my older brother, one of my middle brother, was super into South Park, and I was like, screw it, let me try it, bro. I'm on like season 12, episode 13 right now, or 12, or whatever the hell it is. It is the craziest show I've ever watched. Like, but they're so witty with it. That's the thing. Is that it's not like really stupid comedy like stuff like Family Guy. Like, Family Guy is dumb. I think Family Guy is stupid, but South Park like actually addresses issues in like the time frame that they're because it goes back into like I think the 90s or 2000s. I don't know, but like they address like every freaking issue there, and they do it in such a witty and funny way that it's such a freaking awesome show. Bro, freaking Cartman didn't like this kid, and then he got this kid's parents killed, chopped them up, and fed it to him. That's my favorite freaking thing ever. It's amazing.
Yeah, so the thing about South Park, I mean, I love South Park. The reason why, by the way, it's not on Hulu, it's on HBO Max right now. They got the rights for it, so it's like it's on that platform right now. I think South Park's great. Family Guy. Here's the thing about Family Guy, right?
They bash Family Guy in there too.
So the thing about Family Guy is that the first 5 seasons of Family Guy, to me, honestly, I think are really great. But like, they found a formula and they stuck with it the next 12 seasons after that. And it's very forced. It's very stupid, and like, it's just not genuine anymore. I feel, and I don't know, and like, and they, I don't know. Again, they rely on the pop culture. For me, South Park, they take the pop culture and put a message within it, but Family Guy doesn't do that anymore. They just say like, oh, you know.
Did you see? You saw the South Park Family Guy episode, right? When Cartman tries to get it taken off.
Oh right, no, yeah. He was like, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this." Yeah, no, it's great. But with other shows, I think we mentioned like the whole thing. So kind of finishing my point before, like my Wi-Fi just kind of I hate my Wi-Fi. With WandaVision is that again, like to me, like I had so many criticisms about the MCU, but to me, I feel like WandaVision breathes a lot of fresh air into it, especially the uniqueness of this whole sitcom world and who's controlling these people and stuff like that. Mandalorian, on the other hand, I like Mandalorian a lot. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it's a little overrated. I gotta say, I don't know if that's a hot take. Maybe it is. The first season has a lot of filler episodes. Same thing with the second season. I feel like the way that the Mandalorian works is that
as part of the main story of trying to find where Baby Yoda comes from or what he's about and stuff like that. Excuse me, Grogu is his name. I'm sorry.
I was still gonna call him Baby Yoda, little freaking
Baby Yoda. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? It's easier.
Yeah.
It seems like he's like, okay, but before you go on this main mission, you have to go to this planet and collect something so you can bring it back so you can proceed on your mission. It's like it's a lot of that. But when they get on track with the main story, it's great. And that season finale was great.
I mean, like I don't really like Star Wars. I'm not really like a big Star Wars fan, but I actually like The Mandalorian because and I can't get into any shows like, you know, I freaking watch cartoons or fucking whatever. I'm a geek, but like I got into Mandalorian because it was pretty freaking like good story. But I think they maybe did that deliberately because maybe they're gonna come back to it because like a lot of people who watch that like I don't know if you know, like The Mandalorian's like deep in like Star Wars lore. Like that's not like that was like a comic book. Like if you know like that's you're a Star Wars fan then, right?
Believe me, I know all too well. I mean, this goes back. I mean, they mentioned The Mandalorian in like if anybody's played the Knights of the Old Republic like computer game with Star Wars and stuff like that. So that's a deep cut, right? So like again, like so we've heard a lot about the Mandalore War and stuff like that. And again, so that's why I like it when they kind of delve into that whole lore of the deep Mandalorian story.
And then the same thing with
like
when they delve into like the colors of the blades and they had the dark saber and everything. Like that's super like into the lore and how what the reason like the Sith blades are red is because they tried to put more power into it and the crystals are like alive. So like like it's just a whole bunch of stuff like that. But I thought that was really cool. But maybe they're leaving fillers to come back to it, kind of like how they did in like Adventure Time. Because I know like a lot of people hate Adventure Time, but like at the end, everything adds up. All the little crazy stuff adds up. So maybe they're doing something like that. But I haven't watched season 2 yet.
Oh, you haven't watched it yet? Okay.
I don't have Disney Plus, so I had to book it for my friend.
No. So when you watch season 2, I mean, listen, the first episode of season 2 was great, and then the next like 2 or 3 episodes are just like, because here's the thing, you can have filler episodes if they contribute to the main story, if they contribute to the lore of the story itself. To me, the Mandalorian in season 2 does not. And there's a lot of episodes like where like I really didn't care, and I just wanted them to get to the point already, So that was just me. And again, the first season has that as well. But yeah, when it comes to Star Wars, I mean, listen, I'm a geek as well. We could talk about. So it's funny you bring up Adventure Time, because obviously this is the entertainment pod.
That's one of my favorite shows.
So here's the thing. I grew up watching Cartoon Network, right? That was obviously one of the couple channels that I watched.
When it was freaking good.
Adventure Time.
My mind.
Yes, I hate to say it, but Adventure Time was one of the ones right when it was on. I turned the channel. Here's why. I didn't hate it. Like when I watched it, I'm like, okay, I can see why people are into this. It's very creative. It's unique. I just don't know. I would have rather watched other Cartoon Network shows. Like I was a huge regular show guy. Like
regular show's good. Show. I went back to binge. Well, I went back to binge. Like I remember Adventure Time and regular show were the last 2 things when I watched, because I don't watch TV no more. But like with the last 2 things that I was watching when I was like actually kind of a little kid and Cartoon Network started to kind of phase off. Because now they're starting to bring old stuff back. Like they're bringing Samurai Jack back. They're bringing like a whole bunch of other stuff back. But I don't know if I want them to, because I don't want them to mess it up. Whatever. That's another tangent. But Adventure Time, I just liked how it was like it was just it just matched my weirdness. I loved it. Like it was like a perfect thing for me. But it was kind of like bits and pieces there. So like I had to go back and binge it. And I didn't finish it yet because I'm gonna be too sad when it ends. I didn't finish it because I know it's gonna be sad. But no, like that's what I could say. Like I know a lot of people when I bring it up, like, damn, you really like that? And I was like, yeah, man, like it's awesome. Like you don't know what happens here. Like, no, I stopped at like the beginning. But that's the whole point. You stopped in the beginning. And it seems really random and crazy because it is, but towards the end, it actually like makes a lot more sense. Like it's very intricate. I really it's like one of my favorite shows like that.
So Chloe, I want to get your thoughts on this too. But what I think there's a stigma with animated anything.
100%.
Yeah.
There's a stigma that like because when people say like, oh, you like Adventure Time, you like anime, you like because I don't watch anime, but I've heard that before. Like when you watch this, what are you, a kid? Like really, like if you watch some of these animes, when you watch some of these shows that really do have adult themes, you know, kind of like that. And Samurai Jack, by the way, I love Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack's amazing. Gotta get back to
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
and
each
Jack.
of these animated shows just has like a their own way of portraying some type of emotion or issue or any type of like problem in some kind of artistic form, and I have a lot of respect to all the people who make these like anime shows or just like any of these types of shows. Like they convey adult messages in that type of way, and I think it's a really really good art form for sure. So I do agree there, and the stigma around it is kind of BS in my opinion. So
it's heavy stigma. There's a lot of stigma around it, even because I've been watching it like freshman year and everything, and I know like a lot of people usually associate it with the weird kids or with other stuff that I'm not gonna say, but I think you know what I mean. But it's not just I guarantee you, like for example, like Teen Titans, that was a huge thing. That's one of my favorite shows. That's I and animation, I guess, because I guess it was Western style, but like Teen Titans is amazing. All the cartoons is kind of an anime kind of animation type of thing, but
well, to me, I mean, when I listen, because obviously, I mean, you guys talk to me. Not only am I a huge, I'm just a nerd in general, right? I love superheroes and stuff like that. So when I was a kid and I watched Teen Titans, I was blown away.
yes,
I never, because at the time I watched like the Justice League animated show, which is great, by the way. But Teen Titans,
oh
again,
yeah,
like
bro,
you said,
all that stuff you just said, the Justice League, the Batman, like when Batman was on.
I think you know what I'm about to say. We're on the same level here. Batman, the animated series, like, and listen, I know Colby knows this all too well, right? I'm a huge Batman fan, but like to me, Batman the animated series is like one of the best animated shows of all time, in my opinion. Like it's the way that again, you talk about a kid show, you play a Batman animated series, and like again, like adults love that show. There's a reason. I mean,
hell yeah.
So with Teen Titans, right? When I was a kid, I this was a whole new animation style that I really have never seen before. Again, mixes not only like the Justice League style, the Bruce Timm style, but also mixes that anime, like like you said. And I thought that was great. So
oh my god, it was amazing. It was like each character. That was the basis of the thing. Each character had like their main enemy and everything. With Raven, it was her father because he wanted her to rule like the underworld, like take over the earth. With Robin, it was Slade. Yeah. With Cyborg, it was I forgot the other. It was like the other crew who was kind of evil, but then they turned kind of good.
I think it was Hive. I think it was.
Yes, it was Hive. It was Hive. And then I forgot Beast Boy. I forgot what Beast Boys was. Because I can't remember if they did Beast Boy actually.
I used to love this show, but I have like no recollection of anything. I think that's just
I
thought it was a girl. I thought it was a blonde girl. She did
yes, that's who it was. It was this.
I forgot her name.
I think she had like it was like Raven. She had telekinetic powers. She had telekinetic powers type stuff, and then she got frozen in stone. She got frozen in stone, and there was a whole thing with that. Yeah, that's what it was. So like,
Starfire was his sister, and then which is great. And then obviously Robin was Deathstroke. And Deathstroke is such a huge character.
Oh my god, Deathstroke is freaking awesome.
Deathstroke is awesome. And obviously he's gonna be in like future live action movies, so it's gonna be great. But yeah, I mean Teen Titans, that's one of the pinnacles of Cartoon Network back then, 100%. In my opinion. But
I mean not even just that. I'm talking about like Courage the Cowardly Dog type stuff, or like Code like that, like all that thing like Codename Kids Next Door, like that was the golden period, or like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Like I mean, that was just me because I grew up on that stuff, like Ed and like all that stuff, and then
You just said my favorite one, by the way.
Ed and Eddie
is number one for me.
Amazing.
Personally, for me, I love that.
Amazing. Show. It's Courage and like Teen Titans and stuff. Like I honestly can't pick one just because I grew up.
As a kid, Courage scared me as a kid.
Yeah.
For a little bit. So it took me a couple more years, but like that show is awesome as well. I mean,
bro, it was just like it scared me, but I couldn't stop watching it. Like, bro, Saturday cartoons was just like my freaking thing. Like it was the same thing like with Looney Tunes or like Baby Looney Tunes on Boomerang type stuff. Like that's what I grew up with when I wasn't like doing like baseball or doing something. If I was inside, I was watching the cartoons, and it was just part of growing up, part of being like of our childhood and everything. So like it really kind of I'm just like it doesn't make me mad when people say anything with anime because I know who I is. So it's like I don't really care what other people think. So, but it's like there is a huge stigma with it, which I wish wouldn't be like built up with it, because people should just give it a try. Like give it a try. Pick like I usually, if I put someone on, like I put someone on like really good stuff. Like I don't put them on Naruto because it's super long, and a lot of people don't want to sit through that stuff unless you're like I grew
Like
up
all
watching Naruto.
the flashbacks on Naruto are so annoying for me.
Well,
Bro, no, like that's what makes it like the best, because I grew up watching Naruto on Cartoon Network, and then I, I as like in high school I rewatched like the entire thing, Naruto Shippuden. I haven't gotten to the movies yet, but like all that stuff. And then I usually put them on like Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo, because those are like two masterpieces that are.
well, listen, Ellie. Then I have a question for you then, because obviously my close friends, they tell me really literally every day we talk, like whether on Discord playing or games or something. You tell me you need to watch Attack on Titan.
Oh,
And recently I guess there's like a new season out, right?
yeah.
And again, like literally every time an episode is out, I literally see like even JP Akasa, who's the business manager for the UP right now, he tweets all the time about it, saying like every episode is the best episode, it's the best anime of all time. First of all, Elliot, have you watched it, and what's your thoughts about it?
Okay, so it's like the thing is, one, I love that little reporter kind of style you did it. It was just super fluid. But second, B, the what do you call it? Attack on Titan, I haven't watched recently because I paced myself with animes, because I like watch such hardcore animes like Neon Genesis Evangelion, which really messed me up. But that's another masterpiece right there. But no, Attack on Titan's a good watch for sure. I'm not gonna, I know there's like a lot of what do you call it, talk about it being one of the best animes. I think it's very good. I just think, the like throwing this is the best or that's the best is very hard to do, because it's subjective. So you'll just kind of be in a battle, like, no, this is better, no, this is better. But it's definitely a good watch, 100%. The way I kind of watch stuff is I binge it. So like I feel like it's kind of like when you read a book, like a really good book, and you just can't stop reading, and you feel like you're immersed in the story. Do you know what I mean? You ever get that feeling where you like you feel like you're with the characters, kind of like lingering over them and being in every moment, like you feel like you're there. And that's how I feel like when I watch the animes, because I binge them and I really build up this connection with the characters and everything. And it's just like Attack on Titan was one of them because it was new. It was like the first I remember for me anime that was just kind of like crazy, like gory and action packed, and I really like that kind of stuff. But that was like the first one that kind of exposed me to it. So I was like holy smokes, like this is so sick. Like they got these people who just freaking have these this ODM gear. That's the name of the gear that they use to fly up and slice the necks of the Titans. I'm like, yo, they have this ODM gear and everything, and they slice these huge monsters. Like that's so dope. And I'm just like, I gotta watch it. And then I kind of just stopped, just because when I finished, like I think when I watched it, season 2 or season 1 was out, so it was like a while back. But no, it's definitely worth the watch. It's 100% worth the watch. It's really good. It's very good.
Well, because for me, obviously, like I've never watched anime like an ounce of in my life.
Oh yeah, I would. To be honest, what I usually do is I start people out with Cowboy Bebop, because it's that's one of my I got like top 5 or top 6, and that's one of them. Just because like that character, that cast is legendary. The guy who voices Spike. He's the main character. He voices Dempsey in COD Zombies.
No way.
Yeah, that guy's like extremely famous. So like you already know it's a great voice, like acting cast. And just on top of like the fact that it's just a great story in general, it's only 24 episodes or 26, something around there. So it's not too long. So that's what I usually give people, because I just know they're gonna like that. Like whether it's your first watch or your 20th, you're gonna like it. So I would recommend you watch that first for sure, because that's like an old school type of it's a 90s anime, but it's just freaking amazing. So like,
well, Colby, let me ask you a question. Have you ever watched anime, or are you just like me, where you've never watched at all?
The only anime I've watched was Naruto, and like I was starting to like it because it's really really good. But the only issue was I always got confused when the flashbacks happened at the beginning of every episode. I'm like, wait, I just watched this shit. What episode am I watching? I'm like, what the fuck? So like, I don't think it was made to be binged, because like I'd binge it And I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on? I thought I just watched this, or like, I saw this before. What's going on? So like that kind of confused me and threw me off. But I need to set aside some more time to kind of watch some stuff and get into it. It was a good show, but I just kind of like when I was watching it, I really didn't watch it the right way.
Yeah.
And I kind of got annoyed by the flashbacks.
There's like obviously certain ways to watch certain animes. You probably didn't even know there was a filler list, a filler and a canon list. So you're probably watching fillers intermixed with the canons. And what do you call it? So it's like, because I pull up, like, if I'm gonna dive deep into like an anime, like a show, and like an anime, it's usually anime. I'll pull up like the filler and canon list. That way, the first time I watch it, if I watch it again, or if I even finish it, I can go back the second time and watch the fillers if I want to. But no, and Naruto has a whole boatload of the transition from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden is like there's just a thing. It's like seasons of fillers. Like kind of the same thing with Dragon Ball, which I couldn't get into, by the way. I can't get into Dragon Ball. But yeah, like it's just you should give it another try. But I don't know if you should if that should be your first thing, because it is like a really really long watch, and it's binged if you're like me who's like that's one of my all-time favorite shows because I grew up watching it. Like I collected the cards and everything. Like you know what I mean. So, but no, it's good.
So what is anime that would you say would be like a good first one?
Oh, I would want to, like, you know, because I kind of want to get the stigma out. So I hope a lot of people listen to this and actually try to, you know, a lot of people should just go and do stuff, you know, open-minded and not shoot stuff down so easily, whether it's music, film, or you know, just a show. You know, you don't know what you're gonna like, and you don't know if what people, you know, the rumors behind the stuff is true. You know what I mean? And if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But so I hope people actually listen to this. I would 100% say Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. You cannot go wrong with those two. That rhyme. No, you can't go wrong with those two shows because they're just like, whether you're a fan of anime or not, you can't deny that it's not like put together extremely well. Like I said, Samurai Champloo was the reason why I watched it was because one of my heroes, another one of my heroes, Nujabes, made the soundtrack for it, and it's an insane soundtrack. But then I just got captivated with you know how amazing it is. So I knew like a lot of hype was around it, so I was like, oh, let me see if it's really that good. But yeah, it's the same thing as Bebop. It's like 20 something episodes, nothing crazy. And yeah, I think that either one it'll be fine. Either one you'll like.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I mean, so and I hate when, by the way, like you said, there's like a filler list and a canon list. Like
yeah.
The same works, and this is why I cannot get into the show. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but like the Clone Wars animated television show, everybody talks about and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
But the series, when you go on Netflix or wherever it's available, I guess Disney Plus at the moment, it's not in order, you know. And
oh really?
It's literally not in order.
Damn, Netflix got to go and step up their game, son.
Well, here's the thing: it's not even Netflix's fault. It's literally like Star Wars' fault.
Oh really?
When they released the episodes, they were not in order. There's literally a list made by Star Wars. It's on their website that has it in order. And you have to be thinking, like, why didn't you just do this in the first place? Like, I honestly don't even get it. And whatever the reasoning is, it's stupid, and I don't even know what it is. I can already tell it's stupid. So yeah. It's like, you know, again, but I've heard a lot of good things about it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
I
guess
really
let's go ahead.
Like
you know,
when a show or like a movie or anything makes me do extra work. Like I just want to sit down, watch it, enjoy it. I don't want to have to do extra work to try to watch it. Like,
here's the thing with movies.
Chill, bro. I'm not trying to do all that.
I mean, I'm fine. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, the difference between a movie and a television show, like you said with Naruto, like there's like however so many filler episodes.
Oh yeah.
In a movie, like when you have filler in a movie or exposition or whatever, sometimes it can get very drawn out. Again, you have a certain amount of time to convey the message or just convey the movie.
Yeah.
And obviously people go 3 hours, but usually like a serviceable time is 90 minutes to 2 hours. You have to fit as much information as you can. There's no time for fillers, which is why I guess to me, like, I prefer movies, but television shows can again, we're in pretty much the golden age of television, I want to say, because like, when you have shows like Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones, despite that final season, but when you have those type of, when you have this type of, shows and, whatever, it's like these mean as just as much as movies do at this point in time. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. I agree with you.
Yeah, and obviously movies are kind of weird nowadays because obviously with the pandemic and different streaming platforms are kind of releasing the movies now. Like HBO Max is releasing movies as long with a theater release, like they did it with Wonder Woman, and they're gonna do it with like King Kong versus Godzilla, which I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, man, I want to see all that. I don't know if you played the game. There was a PS2 game of like the Godzilla game with like Mothra and like Mecha Godzilla and all that. I really hope. Yeah, it was sick. I really hope they kind of like add some of those characters in. But no, I agree with you. I want to go back to the Clone Wars thing though. That it's funny you say that because like I would have thought you would wanted to watch it because there's a whole bunch of other lore that's in there that what do you call it, like the original movies didn't cover and the Mandalorian doesn't cover. Like for example, Darth Maul when he got cut in half and goes down that pit in I forgot. Don't tell me. I don't know the name.
Episode 1.
Episode one. Yeah, and like everything is so skewed, bro. Like with the movie timing and everything, like something like already happened, but then some like it could be the fourth movie, but then it's like in the past. Like whatever. That confuses me. But I'm just taking for example the Darth Maul thing when he gets cut in half in episode 1. That's kind of it. And like for the rest of the movies, you don't know what happened. Like Darth Maul's dead, but in the shows, if you know where I'm going with this, you find out that he is living there off the rats and off of everything and kind of becomes like a robot, a cyborg in a way, and like a spider, like a cyborg spider, and there's all this stuff. So it's kind of like super for like Star Wars fans because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I would have thought you would definitely like have watched it.
Here's the thing, man. If I have to look up online a list of how to watch the show, then I mean, like you already lost me. I mean, again, by the way, I mean, just I don't want to plug it, but I do like a nerd podcast with Jacob Brown, who's at Our Radio. So I mean, it works. He was telling me you have to watch it. I'm like, I don't want to do extra work, pull up a website and have to watch it. It's just,
man, I don't mind doing that.
But one day I will. And I know again they have another show called Rebels, and it delves into that as well. And obviously, we can get into the prequels because here's the thing, like, obviously the prequels are, they're not the best, right? Obviously, we're putting it lightly.
No, episode 3 is amazing.
Episode 3, well, I wouldn't say amazing, but it's definitely the strongest. It's actually, it's not a bad movie. The second one is awful. It's the worst Star Wars movie, in my opinion. The first one's just boring.
Even worse than the one with
I like episode 2 because it follows around Padme.
Okay, I'm sorry. Good, not a bad point, but still, that movie sucks. But yeah.
Wait. So even you don't think the one with Jar Jar Binks is the worst one? That's what I heard was like the worst one was the one with Jar Jar.
So
freaking Jar Jar Binks, son.
Here's the thing with Jar Jar Binks. He's an awful character, right? Obviously. But he's also in the second movie, so it's fine. Again, he's more prone to the first movie, that's for sure. But the first movie, at least it has that Darth Maul lightsaber battle at the end, and the score by John Williams is great.
Oh yeah.
The rest is boring, But here's the one thing I'll give to the prequels is that obviously the original trilogy that came out in the 70s and the 80s, it was great. It was a great surface level trilogy, but the prequels did build off of the lore of Star Wars. It was the first type of thing where we saw like, oh, there's a past to this. There's a whole Jedi like religion that dates back to whenever. That's the only thing I'll give to the prequels. The movies are bad. The third one's, the third one is the strongest. And the sequel trilogy, we can just, I'm not a big hater. There's a lot of big haters of the sequel trilogy. I don't mind it. They're just whatever movies. There's a lot of there, but it is what it is. But Mandalorian, I mean, it seems like they're doing good with all these new TV shows that are coming out. Like they're gonna do an Ahsoka show. That's good. They're bringing back Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen for Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. It's gonna be great.
Snap! Really?
Yeah, that's me a new TV show, and again, it's gonna be good. I have a lot of faith. But yeah, a lot of missed opportunities with this. Can you?
And this is what I mean about like the stigma. With this is a perfect example. Remember, when did Star Wars start? 70s, 80s?
1977 was the release of the very first one.
70s, bro. If you watched that and like that back then, you were considered the biggest nerd, right, or geek. And now it's one of the coolest things. And that's the best way I can relate it to like anime now, because anime, obviously now I guess like it's starting to get bigger and I guess less stigmatized, which is kind of cool. But that's all I can say. It's like usually the uncool stuff ends up being really cool at the end when people hop on that wagon. But like
that's a good point actually, because like
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like anime is getting there, because it seems like even when you look at like I hate to bring up sports, but a lot of sports guys, when you see they come up in
Schuster, right? He's a big one.
Exactly, like a lot of guys just come up in like Dragon Ball gear and just Attack on Titan stuff. So I mean, again, it's getting bigger, and it's like people use it, but it gets annoying when people use it like as a personality trait, when they say, "Oh, I like the Marvel movies," or the Star Wars movies,
The worst types of people
yeah.
are the people who use the fact that they like The Office as a personality trait.
Yeah, that's a big one. I'll tell you what, because here's the thing: when I first watched The Office, before like the whole meme with that started or whatever,
There's a meme about it. What the hell?
well, the meme is that like people use it as a personality trait, like Colby said or whatever.
Really? Damn.
Yeah,
What about
pretty much. I mean, it is exaggerated, obviously, but it is what it is.
like
I
what?
watched
Like,
the
hello,
show.
my name's Elliot. I watched The Office. Bam, like that. Like so, like that.
Listen, man.
I've watched The Office 17 times.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, The Office has gotten less funny because of those type of people. It's kind of sad because, like, the first, like, 4 or 5 seasons of The Office, to me, are great. And then when Steve Carell, like, leaves, it's not that good.
That's when I stopped watching it. That's when I stopped. Exactly when I stopped watching it. I couldn't handle that guy doing this stuff.
Obviously, Dwight and Jim and Pam are great characters, but, like, Steve Carell, by the way, I mean, Steve Carell is one of the best in the business right now, but, like, he really made that show. And obviously people use that as a personality trait, which I mean, if you like the show, you like the show, man, whatever. Be a nerd about The Office,
Yeah. But not if you just try to use it as like a thing, like how people do with anime or Star Wars, like that kind of like in that way.
Also, it gets annoying when people like if they think they're like I don't know, like a part of film Twitter or something, or they feel like since they like the whole stigma with like, oh, I'm in my major is film, so I know more
like I'm an artist, like I think
so
differently
obviously
than people.
because I major in film, I know more than you. Like, no, you don't, bro. Like, here's the thing. Like, here's my ideology with it. Everybody has the same valid opinion. It's all on the same level. If you don't have it's all subjective. And here's the thing: just because you have a film, just because you're a film major doesn't mean that your opinion is more valid than anybody else's. And
ignorant as hell.
Yeah, and again, like if you think something bad and I think something's good, then like there's no objective thing with it. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly. And it's funny you bring that up, because nowadays, especially people, younger, like our age, usually if someone's opinion differs from another's opinion, a lot of people just end up saying, "Oh, I hate that person because, they don't see my way." Like, yo, what the hell? So like now we come up in a time where it's because we have like differing ideologies or opinions, we can't like, still be cool with one another or like be friends. Like what the hell? It's just weird. That's funny you bring that up.
You see that a lot nowadays. Obviously, when it comes to like political stuff, then it gets a little tricky, right? But we're just talking about art. We're just talking about like movies and stuff like that, obviously.
Yeah, like I don't get the whole thing where people like if you just hate on something they like, they kind of just throw you out. But like we're people, we're made to have different opinions, and I think it's good that we all get to sit here and talk and share what we think. But I think we've reached a good stopping point for today's episode. But we'll see you guys next week. You can find us on Twitter. You can find me, Colby Guy, at that guy Colbs on Twitter, or at Colby Guy on Instagram. And then you guys just shout your stuff out real quick before I wrap it up.
All right, yeah, you could find me, Elliot Rodriguez, on Twitter, at Erod Writes, and then on Instagram, at Elliot, ELLIOT YAKNOW. Elliot, that's me on Instagram.
So you can find me on Twitter at Zach Weinberger, Zach with an H, WEINBERGER. We all write for the University Press, UPressOnline.com, obviously. Have a couple of pods, the Nerd Pod 2, you can find it on Twitter. We just talk about nerd stuff like we were just doing a little bit here. A pro wrestling pod with JP Acosta. A lot of it. I have a pro wrestling pod with JP Acosta, business manager for the UP, at Yell_Cell. You can find us there. So a lot of stuff we're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to be on here. Listen, if you guys want me on more, then I'm happy to be on. So.
Yeah, man, it's good.
Yeah.
Hey, and to everybody out there, if anybody actually listens, contact you. There's our contact infos on the UP. What do you call it? Website.
Yeah, it's at upressonline.com. You can find our
upressonline.com, so-
contact info on our staff page.
Yep.
And
If you have
wanna write
anything-
for us, let us know. But you can find us on social media at UPress Online. If you're interested in following what the UP does, or if you want to hear our other podcasts, we have a sports podcast that airs on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock here on Owl Radio. And we'll have a news podcast that airs on Tuesdays at 12 on Owl Radio. So there's more from us here, but it's been nice talking with y'all, and we'll see you next week.